Super excited to be able to do this. Talking to a former In Focus Youth alumni.
Alumna?
What? I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's alumni.
Yeah, there we go. That word, that word. But yes, Brett used to be in Focus Youth. You are now a sophomore in college.
Yes, I
at
am.
AU, which is,
I almost said no, even though I'm pretty sure I had to remind you last service that I'm a sophomore, so now I can't blame you.
Did. But yeah, we're excited to hear what God's doing in your life.
Yes.
Yes, and I have the opportunity and privilege to disciple Brett every week, and we get to meet one-on-one, and it is a lot of fun. It's difficult. We have difficult conversations, but we are growing closer with each other and towards God. So I'm grateful to be able to have the opportunity with Brett. The first question I have for you, Brett, is what challenges did you experience in your first year of school, and how did ENC help overcome those challenges?
So I said this last service, but my challenges were super practical in the beginning. Was just the transition to college is super difficult, obviously. There's a lot of things that are different. But one of the things is the administration side of being at a university and doing all that yourself, where a lot of that is taken care of in high school by other people doing jobs that they do in their high school. But like now you have to do some of those things. And so one of the things is like navigating some of the online schooling that we do and all the homework being through that online. And I was able to have people around me that had already walked out their first year of college and were able to walk me through that experience. And it was super comforting to know that like I wasn't gonna be just lost. Like if I was gonna have an issue or like have something that was difficult in some way, I was comforted knowing that I had people that were going to love me enough to spend the time to teach me how to use those things and do those things. So that was something that was super practical that I think is very helpful, especially if like you're a oldest child or a only child, or if no one else is going to the college that you're going to, that all of those things, it's very helpful to have people in ENC to be able to speak into those things. And then on the spiritual side of things, it was extremely helpful to have accountability and consistency going each week. And like sometimes I didn't want to go, but being consistent and going, it was super beneficial for me in my growth and my walk with Jesus.
Yeah, very well. Very well said. Compound interest, that the more you do something productive that has a positive outcome,
Yes.
God will multiply it. And so, it's really cool for us as, I was thinking earlier or for the first service that, yes, Josiah has helped with youth in tremendous ways throughout the years, but for a time, y'all were both students in youth. Mm-hmm. And then eventually he became youth lead and then started to lead a small group, but then also uniquely, he's your brother-in-law. So he has a lot of unique vantage points. I got to watch you come up as a student leader in the youth group, and you were homeschooled, but still trying to
You didn't need to tell everybody that. That wasn't necessary.
Well, I'm going somewhere.
Okay.
So transitioning now to being on a college campus where you are sharing your faith, and it's different because you were homeschooled and part of a co-op and basketball where you guys had that championship and all the things. But what's it look like? What's it look like for you sharing your faith as a college student now?
Yeah. It's a super unique experience because not everybody has the opportunity, or I guess only college students really have the opportunity all the time, unless you're like Thomas and Mark, able to do that as your job, which is amazing. But if you are a student, you have the opportunity to be there all the time, every day on campus, seeing the same people in the same classes every day. Very similar to high school, but there's more freedom and more time to have conversations and things. So there is some of that difference. But I think it's such a cool thing to be able to build relationships in those classes with people. And it's such a special time in everybody's life that like people are just very open to hearing things and to having conversations. And I'm always surprised because college students are very different than high schoolers in the sense of like, if you go to have a conversation with someone in college, they're going to actually stop and most of the time start to genuinely listen because they like, unless they're like going to a class, they got nothing to do. And so they're just like going to listen to you, have a conversation. They don't know people if they're coming in from another state. So they're like willing to make friends, hear new people's stories and things like that. So it's just a great opportunity to go out and evangelize and talk with people, and something that I haven't taken enough advantage of while I've been in college, and something that I've been convicted of recently. Yes, convicted of.
That's
Convicted
right.
of? That sounded really weird. I was like, wait a minute, I'm not a criminal. I was like, what? And then I was like confused as to what that word meant for a second. We're good.
got you.
We're back. But anyways, yeah, so that was something recently that I wanted to start making a change in and to be super intentional about. So I'm going to be going out with Mark more often and more consistently. But in the past, it has been an incredible experience to be able to take advantage of that while on campus.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great, and you make a good point because we all have those spaces and places that we're in where we have people around us and open doors that we maybe don't take, but we should take. And through the power of your just testimony right then, you're challenging me, and hopefully you, everyone else is being challenged as well. So, Brett, in a minute or less, what advice do you have for incoming freshmen looking to get involved with ENC?
I think one of the most important things is to make sure that you are consistent, and I know I keep saying that, but consistency and intentionality within ENC, because as you're coming out of high school, a lot of things are just habit, like going to youth. If you go to youth, your parents brought you, and then you were just used to it. It was a habit, so you kept going. But going into college, it's a new experience, and so you don't have that habit yet. So you have to build that, and it's not going to be built for you. So you have to make that choice to go every single week, whether you want to or not. And sometimes I don't, to be honest. And I know I said that, but like I don't. Like it's an exhausting day. But in the end, I know I'm going to go, and I know I'm going to grow while I'm there and learn. And it's just super important to just make that choice intentionally, because again, it's not, nobody else is going to make that choice for you.
That's great. That's great. Let's give a round of applause for Brett. Appreciate you, Brett. Keep positioning yourself to receive all God has for you, man. And he's going to continue to move you along.